When Christine Brown announced her upcoming tell-all, fans expected every Brown family member to be glued to the pages, desperate to see what shocking revelations she'd spill. But one Sister Wives star is making it crystal clear she's skipping the explosive memoir altogether, and her reason left viewers stunned. While many assumed jealousy, spite, or lingering bitterness fueled the decision, the truth behind her refusal is something far more unexpected, turning the conversation on its head and leaving fans scrambling to figure out what's really going on behind the scenes. In the ever-dramatic world of reality television, few shows have sparked as much intrigue, gossip, and outright scandal as Sister Wives. For years, audiences have been captivated by the complicated web of relationships within the Brown family. Between polygamous tensions, personal revelations, and jaw-dropping on-screen confrontations, the Browns have offered a glimpse into a life far removed from the ordinary. Yet even seasoned fans are now left reeling at the latest revelation from one of the show's central figures, the decision to bypass Christine Brown's highly anticipated memoir. What initially seemed like a small personal choice has ignited a firestorm of speculation online, leaving viewers scrambling to decipher whether it's a calculated snub, a secret motive, or simply a private decision that has no bearing on the drama fans crave. Christine Brown has long been the focal point of both admiration and controversy within the Sister Wives universe. Her candidness about her past, her marriages, and her complex relationships with co-stars has made her memoir one of the most eagerly awaited releases in reality TV history. Promising revelations, emotional confessions, and insider perspectives, the book has been marketed as a tell-all that would finally shed light on the truths viewers have speculated about for years. The anticipation has been palpable, with fans dissecting every interview, social media post, and teaser Christine has shared in the lead-up to its release. It seemed inevitable that her fellow co-stars would at least show public acknowledgement of her work, even if only in passing. So when one of the key figures in the Brown family, whose presence has been central to some of the series' most dramatic moments, announced that she would not be reading or publicly engaging with Christine's book, the internet exploded. Questions immediately arose. Was this a personal choice grounded in genuine disinterest, or was it a pointed statement meant to distance herself from Christine's narrative? Could there be deeper, unresolved conflicts lurking beneath the surface that the cameras and interviews have yet to fully expose? Fans, ever vigilant in their analysis of every glance, comment, and social media post, were quick to speculate. Theories ranged from subtle snubs, deliberate avoidance of conflict, to potentially explosive secrets that could rewrite the dynamics of the Sister Wives family. In a recent interview, the star in question finally broke her silence, providing a more nuanced explanation for her decision. Contrary to many online assumptions, her reasoning wasn't rooted in animosity or jealousy. Instead, it appeared to stem from a combination of personal boundaries, past experiences with the media, and a desire to focus on her own narrative rather than being drawn into someone else's version of events. "It's not about disrespecting Christine or ignoring her story," she emphasized. "It's about choosing what aligns with my life and my family right now. I have my own experiences to reflect on, and I want to focus on that rather than getting caught up in someone else's telling of things." Despite this clarification, fans remained divided. On social media platforms, discussions ranged from fervent support for the star's decision to fiery criticism, with some accusing her of undermining Christine's moment in the spotlight. Memes, threads, and speculative posts began circulating rapidly, further fueling public fascination. The divide was stark. One side praised her autonomy and ability to set personal boundaries in a world obsessed with public drama, while the other interpreted the move as a deliberate affront or even a signal of unspoken tension between the sisters. It's worth noting that relationships within the Brown family have always been layered and often difficult to decipher from the outside. Public interactions, camera angles, and interview soundbites only provide fragments of the truth, leaving fans to piece together a narrative from what is, at best, partial evidence. In this context, the choice to not publicly engage with Christine's memoir could be interpreted in multiple ways. Some observers argue it reflects a desire to maintain peace and avoid fueling further public conflict, while others see it as a strategic move to control her own media image. Adding another layer to the intrigue, insiders suggest that there are private discussions happening behind the scenes that the cameras, and even interviews, don't capture. The Brown family is known for its intricate dynamics, where loyalty, rivalry, and individual agendas intermingle in unpredictable ways. Within this framework, skipping Christine's book could be less about the book itself and more about preserving personal space amid ongoing public scrutiny. For a family whose private lives have been relentlessly dissected on national television, any act of choosing silence or selective engagement is bound to be interpreted as a statement of significance. This incident also speaks to a broader cultural phenomenon: the intense public fascination with reality TV personalities and their personal choices. When someone of this star's prominence in the Sister Wives universe makes a deliberate decision, it becomes fodder for discussion, debate, and sometimes judgment. Fans feel a sense of ownership over the story, as if their devotion to the show grants them insight into or even influence over the lives of the stars themselves. In reality, however, these decisions are deeply personal, shaped by private histories, emotions, and boundaries that are not always visible to the public eye. Furthermore, this moment invites reflection on how fame intersects with personal autonomy. In a world where reality stars' every action is scrutinized, the act of choosing not to participate, even in something as seemingly innocuous as reading a co-star's memoir, takes on outsized significance. For the star in question, the decision appears to be as much about maintaining agency and protecting emotional well-being as it is about any interpersonal tension with Christine. It is a subtle but powerful reminder that public figures are not obligated to share every reaction, opinion, or endorsement, no matter how invested the audience might feel. While speculation continues to swirl online, the star's explanation provides a window into the challenges faced by individuals navigating the twin pressures of familial relationships and public scrutiny. It highlights a recurring theme in the Sister Wives narrative: the delicate balancing act between personal truth and public expectation. Even in a family accustomed to airing private matters for television audiences, there remain moments where boundaries must be drawn, and choices must be made independently of external pressures. As the conversation unfolds, fans are left to interpret the significance of this decision through the lens of their own understanding of the Brown family saga. Some see it as a respectful gesture, a recognition of the need for personal boundaries in a highly visible and often invasive media landscape. Others cannot help but read between the lines, wondering if the avoidance hints at unresolved issues, hidden resentment, or untold stories that could one day surface in more dramatic ways. The tension between these perspectives fuels ongoing interest in both Christine's memoir and the broader Sister Wives universe, ensuring that public curiosity remains as voracious as ever. In the labyrinthine world of reality television, few families have captivated audiences like the Browns of Sister Wives. Over the years, viewers have been drawn into a complex web of relationships, loyalties, and tensions that are as fascinating as they are unpredictable. With every season, new revelations emerge, and fans are left speculating about what goes on behind the cameras. Among the Brown family, Christine has often stood in the spotlight, her life, choices, and words generating intense interest and sometimes controversy. So when she announced her highly anticipated memoir, which promised to deliver intimate insights and explosive revelations, the entire Sister Wives community braced for a media storm. Yet amid the fanfare, a surprising twist emerged. One of the most beloved figures in the series, long considered a favorite among viewers for her charisma, honesty, and relatability, revealed that she would not be reading or publicly engaging with Christine's book. First glance, the decision seemed shocking, almost inexplicable. Online forums and social media platforms exploded with speculation. Was this a personal snub, a subtle dig, or a signal of deeper tensions within the family? Every comment, gesture, and social media post from the star was analyzed, dissected, and debated by fans desperate to uncover the truth behind the move. The initial assumptions were easy to make. For years, viewers have observed the intricate dynamics between the Brown women. Christine's memoir promised to air private matters that had long been subjects of speculation, covering past relationships, conflicts, and emotional struggles. Given the history of candid revelations on the show, it was reasonable for fans to expect that co-stars would engage with her work in some way, if only to show support or acknowledge her perspective. The decision by this star to abstain, therefore, immediately raised eyebrows. But in a recent in-depth interview, the star offered an explanation that stunned many. She clarified that her choice had nothing to do with resentment, competition, or rivalry. "It's not about snubbing Christine," she emphasized, her tone measured and thoughtful. "This is about setting personal boundaries. Over the years, I've learned that I don't have to engage with every narrative, even when it involves people I care about. For me, it's about prioritizing my own story and emotional well-being, not about making a statement against anyone else." Her words revealed a level of intentionality and self-awareness that many fans had not expected. What appeared to be a dramatic snub was, in fact, a considered decision rooted in the complexities of navigating public life while maintaining personal boundaries. Despite her explanation, reactions among fans have been polarizing. On social media, some praised her for asserting her autonomy and refusing to be pulled into the spectacle that often accompanies reality TV drama. They lauded her for understanding that public engagement does not always equate to validation, and that personal boundaries are a necessary tool for survival in a world obsessed with scrutiny. Others, however, interpreted her decision as a subtle slight, arguing that by skipping the memoir, she may be tacitly dismissing Christine's voice or diminishing the importance of her revelations. The online discourse has been heated, with posts ranging from supportive to accusatory, memes mocking and celebrating the situation, and endless debates about what the choice signifies for the family dynamic. The decision also sheds light on a broader theme inherent in the sister wives narrative: the struggle between personal autonomy and public expectation. The Brown women, despite their individual personalities and histories, operate under the lens of an audience that expects transparency, engagement, and often conflict. Every smile, every pause, every comment is scrutinized and interpreted. In this context, choosing not to engage becomes a form of resistance, a quiet assertion of control over one's narrative. By abstaining from reading or discussing Christine's book publicly, the star is making a clear statement about her priorities and her limits, whether fans fully understand it or not. Moreover, the timing of the revelation added to the intrigue. Christine's memoir had already generated significant buzz, with excerpts and interviews highlighting her candid reflections on past struggles, relationship challenges, and moments of vulnerability. In this climate of anticipation, the absence of public commentary from a key figure felt conspicuous. Fans naturally filled the silence with speculation, theorizing about underlying conflicts, unspoken grievances, or unresolved issues. Yet, the star's explanation reframed the situation entirely. What many assumed was a gesture of defiance or critique was, in reality, an exercise in personal agency and self-care. The context of the sister wives' family's history makes this moment even more significant. Over the years, fans have witnessed complex dynamics unfold on-screen, including clashes of personalities, differing philosophies about family and marriage, and occasional public disagreements. Christine herself has been both lauded and criticized for her willingness to share personal details, which has only amplified the scrutiny of others within the family. Against this backdrop, it is understandable that someone might choose to step back from engaging with a work that rehashes sensitive material, not because of animosity, but because of a desire to protect themselves emotionally. Even beyond the immediate family context, this decision resonates with a wider conversation about fame and mental health. Reality TV stars are constantly negotiating the tension between public life and private well-being. Pressure to comment, react, or engage can be relentless, leaving little space for reflection or personal boundaries. By choosing not to engage with Christine's book, the star is asserting control over her own narrative, signaling that she is not beholden to external expectations, no matter how strong the fan interest may be. In doing so, she highlights an important lesson for audiences who consume reality TV. Engagement is voluntary, and setting limits does not equate to disrespect or disregard. In the days following the revelation, discussions continued to proliferate online. Some analysts noted that the decision could even influence how audiences interpret future seasons of Sister Wives. Viewers are accustomed to seeing every reaction and interaction displayed publicly. A deliberate choice to abstain from a highly anticipated event changes the narrative dynamics, challenges the audience's assumptions, and invites speculation about what is private versus what is performative. It also forces fans to consider the humanity of the stars themselves, that behind every televised interaction are real emotions, real boundaries, and real decisions that do not always translate into spectacle. There is also the question of how this decision might affect Christine herself. For a memoir that depends on public engagement and readership, the absence of a co-star's visible endorsement could seem significant. Yet, the star's explanation offers reassurance that the choice was not made in malice. Christine's work remains a deeply personal reflection, and the choice of others to engage or not engage does not diminish its value. The decision underscores the idea that respect for personal boundaries and autonomy is as important as recognition or validation, especially in a public-facing family where narratives are constantly under construction. Beyond the immediate implications for the Brown family, this episode speaks to the complex psychology of audience expectation and celebrity culture. Fans invest emotionally in reality TV personalities, often interpreting actions through a lens of drama, rivalry, and intrigue. Every silence, every omission, every decision not to participate is treated as meaningful, sometimes inflating the significance of what might be a simple personal choice. In this context, the star's refusal to publicly read or discuss the memoir challenges the audience to reconsider assumptions and confront the limits of their entitlement to a celebrity's attention. As the media coverage and social commentary continue to evolve, one thing is clear: the star's decision has sparked a conversation that goes beyond mere drama, touches on issues of personal agency, emotional boundaries, and the pressures of living under a microscope. It highlights the fact that even in a world built on exposure, there is value in choosing what to engage with and what to leave private. The discussion is unlikely to die down soon, as fans continue to analyze every nuance and implication, wondering what other decisions might reflect the same careful navigation of personal and public life. In the broader context of Sister Wives, the episode